so easily. And it really came as no surprise. You look beyond comparing every time that I came close to making a move. I froze. I always do that, and I know it. If I could only be some kind of poet, if I could have my way with words.
Hello, are we there? Yes, I think we are. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to our Café Croissant of May 2021. We are here in Plan-les-Ouates. Personally, I'm here in Plan-les-Ouates, welcoming you at Fongit, and ready to give you some very interesting news about our startup community, about our events, what is happening, what is going to happen, and why Switzerland is becoming more and more, and now it's a reality more than a promise, one of the places to really thrive innovation in Europe and in the world. It's almost summer. I mean, even it's a bit cool today, still in Plan-les-Ouates in Geneva. And as usual, as we have been doing for the last more than 1 year now, all remote, but very close and tight together, because I won't be alone this time as well. And I'd like to welcome to join and to make this journey together with me today, my two colleagues and friends, James and Ingeborg. Hello. Hello, good morning, Ingeborg. So I see James with a nice cup of tea, I guess. Okay, that's good. I hope there is inside. Yeah, you have also your warm bottle. I also have my warm bottle as well. And as you know, we are upgrading this with one of our supported startups, Rebo, that is also saving the planet while drinking fresh, good water. Ingeborg, you're not a Geneus, but you will talk about Geneus, right, in a moment.
Exactly.
Yes, and James, how is life there?
Well, I'm looking forward to bringing you a message from the president of the Swiss Confederation at the end, saluting and congratulating Swiss startups. So we've got a full edition of startup news from Geneva today.
Great. And I see there are people joining bit by bit. So I think we can start. But before that, I'd like to see if there is someone in our cafeteria. I don't know if we can manage to show someone in the cafeteria or not. That's something that we haven't prepared. So if no one showing up is not a problem. But I saw that I'm in the office now today, and I saw there were people wearing, of course, all masks and all in the best safety conditions, but they're desperately trying to get together and to have a real Café Croissant in person. And I think and I hope that this one for real this time is going to be maybe the last one we're going to do online from June on. Hopefully we will start at least to have some sort of hybrid situation where we can start really to meet and talk to each other. That's great. So Ingeborg, James, I will see you in a while. I will start by presenting some information, and thank you. And we can start. We can start by just telling you that I really hope that this is going to be one of the last virtual Café Croissant. We are all a bit Zoom tired, and I also believe that most of us are now in the process of getting vaccine. So it's really remarkable what has been has happened. I think that James is almost through it. I'm also almost through it as well. So Ingeborg is too young, so still she needs to wait a bit more. But and that's great, because that proves that our job as innovators has a purpose. What has happened with all this vaccine is absolutely remarkable, and to see how new technologies such as the ones applied in Moderna and BioNTech, they have hit the market so quickly. That shows what real innovation is. This process of transformation of a research of an idea into economic and social value. That is remarkable. The creation of these products so fast is the proof that innovation is something that makes us advance and progress. We know personally, as you know, BioNTech has some Swiss connections, because the founders were involved in Zurich. Moderna, we at Fongit, we personally know some of the investors in Moderna that also have invested in some of our companies. And these investors, they really financed very, very early on the project Moderna. And it's not about becoming rich in the end. It's really contributing to do something that is going to change the world. And this is what has been happening. And I think this is absolutely great. And you will hear from the message of our president Parmelin that one of the issues he will raise is about funding. So it's about taking risk. It's about angel investment as well. And the investors of Moderna are the proof that this can be done successfully, but also for changing the world. So let's start to talk about some good information. I will maybe go through the first important news that we have, which is related to our new Fongit and Geneva initiative called Fonds d'innovation de la Fongit, which is FIF. FIF is a new program that allows Geneva-based startups to get grants, seed and growth loans, seed convertible loans and growth loans for the amount of 50K grants, 100K, up to 100K the seed convertible loans, and up to 400K the growth loans. This is something, it's a premiere for Geneva, and I'm very happy, and we are very happy that we have the first two companies that have been granted of the seed loan from FIF. So for 100,000 Swiss francs, we are happy to announce that each one of these two companies got this amount. One is Adipos. Adipos is a breakthrough technology for early detection of cachexia, and Zitline Technologies, which is an artificial intelligence platform for powering decisions, in particular in the transportation industry. So apart from congratulating these two companies, I think we should for once also congratulate ourselves, Fongit and the state of Geneva, that started this initiative that for us is really an important one, because it clearly sets the pace of contributing financially to innovation for the good projects in the canton. And also it will represent hopefully the ideal platform on top of which other partners will get onboarded, and we will also be able to develop further the good projects that we have in the region. So welcome this fund, and in particular, congratulations to both Adipos and Zitlin for being the first two ones accepted and awarded of this money, 100,000 Swiss franc each. For all the entrepreneurs interested to know more, you're welcome to go on our website, fongit.ch. There is a section called financing, so it's also fongit.ch/financing, and there you're going to find all the information related to this program. So you're welcome to really to apply to this program. The second news I'd like to give you is all about we discussed last month about last Café&Croissant about the famous Netscape moment for blockchain, and we also released a newsletter with a small editorial part that was focusing on that recently. I think there are other signs that are going in that direction, despite the collapse yesterday of some of the cryptocurrencies that we lived, some of us with a lot of emotions, a lot of interest. Those are hiccups that are normal. The financial market are not necessarily always linked with the real market, so don't worry about it. I mean, those hiccups are absolutely normal, even if it was a bit massive yesterday with Ethereum. However, the business is going, and the trend is very positive. So I'd like to once again to mention one of the I would say the jewels of the startups in this field in Geneva, called Taurus Group, which is also a Fongit supported company. And that is lining up many very interesting partnerships. The latest one being the one with Geneus, which is one of the most important fintech B2B companies in the world, and now Taurus is integrated also in their marketplace on Geneus, where most of the banks are going to get the services they need. On top of it, Taurus also announced the launch of their digital exchange. They will connect banking, so the financial systems, as well as the issuers and investors, to exchange equity on the blockchain. They got and they received the securities firm license from FINMA, which is the mandatory step before starting this activity. And that's great. It means that the problem we had 5 years ago when we started to talk about blockchain in the financial market in Switzerland as well, was to have a secondary marketplace where to exchange these digital assets. And Taurus is launching one of the first one in Switzerland, which is extremely solid from a technological standpoint. They received FINMA license, and I think we are really going mainstream when it comes to that. So I think that the Netscape moment we mentioned last month, it might be actually really here for blockchain.
I'm laughing, Antonio, because yesterday I was told to buy by the people that were telling me to sell in January, when in fact the price of Ethereum was 50% higher than what they were telling me to sell it at in January. So it's also interesting that, as you mentioned with the vaccines, and also here, the technology needs to be ready and in place and credible at the time when the market demand is there. So tourists have been working on this for a long time, building up credibility, and then the market demand is there and it goes live. And the same with the RNA vaccine, the technology that really has been ready but taken a mainstream with the current COVID crisis. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think regarding the first comment about the Ethereum, everyone being invested on the crypto needs to accept that is on a roller coaster journey, and that's normal because we don't know all the parameters behind, and it's very exciting, it's very risky, and it's like really going on the roller coaster. So you take it as such. But it's true that the underlying industry is really getting shaped, and I think that is what is really exciting, and this is where the innovation hits the market. It starts to really to get an implementation. Fantastic. So let's move forward with another interesting news of one of our supported companies as well. Exoterra, which is a clean tech company specialized in environmental solution for actually saving the soils and returning radioactive soils to their natural status. They have an incredibly sophisticated and yet simple technology that allows to do that, and in order to be qualified on the market, they decided to apply their test, one of the main pilot project, on one of the most complicated situations that we have on planet Earth, which is the Chernobyl area, the post-nuclear disaster. And their claim is that they will be able to clean all the polluted sites of Chernobyl in the next 5 years. This is the challenge they started to go after, and it's extremely ambitious. But the incredible good news is that the first results are going in their favor, and they will release the first official results at the end of Q3 this year, so at the end of September, and we are really looking forward to that. But we wanted to give you this news, a bit kind of a premiere, also because it's a Swiss technology that went to Chernobyl, has been adopted as a real on-field pilot project, and is starting to deliver results. So keep an eye on this company, Exoterra, because that can be another very interesting project, and probably a new champion for the clean tech industry in Geneva. So well done, Exoterra, for that. Another project that we follow closely is Magic Tomato. Magic Tomato is the pioneer in Switzerland for this online shop of fresh grocery. This is the fresh market on your table every day with a click. Getting in contact with all the different artisans in the area, shortening the value chain and the logistic chain. This project is putting at a very big scale what a small market is capable in doing. A small market of fresh products, and as you can imagine, there is a lot of technology behind that. There's a lot of technology for provisioning, a lot of technology for delivering, a lot of technology for logistics, and taking care of the client. Magic Tomato has been highlighted by the Bilan magazine as a Swiss pioneer in this field. There is a very nice interview of Paul, the founder and CEO of this company, and on top of it, this is such a compelling value proposition and the identity of the company is so strong that also the sustainability for this project is really in their DNA. Very often they ask us to Fongit how we detect an entrepreneur that respect SDG objectives, and our answer is more and more say, entrepreneurs today, they have SDGs embedded in their business models, and I think Magic Tomato is one of the greatest examples showing that something simple putting a scale becomes extremely complex. So technology has to be very high level, but the SDG is embedded since the very beginning. In fact, they reduced their packaging volume by 90%. This is the proof that if you do a good job with a good vision, a good DNA from the start, SDG is de facto there. So thank you, Paul, for really every time to show us how you can push the boundaries of your concept. Paul is growing a lot, also in other cantons. He expanded in Vaud, he opened in Bern recently, and is really expanding throughout Switzerland. It's fantastic to see how this project is developing. So well done.
And if you're watching from Geneva or Lausanne, and you need to order your groceries for this evening, if you order it before midday, you'll get it delivered fresh from the butcher, fresh from the cheesemonger, fresh from the fish. It's really amazing quality, helping local producers, and it tastes great. So that's what I'm eating tonight. So just go onto Magic Tomato and test them. You will be convinced.
You agree, James? To do that from midday and having delivered from the local artisans, that requires technology. That requires a full control of the platform of provisioning and delivery, I think that is a very interesting new type of business models that we hope to see more and more locally in Switzerland and in Geneva as well, because this is what the market is demanding more and more.
Yeah, I mean, the magic in it is that they're getting the vegetables fresh from the field in the morning, and you're getting that. It's not sticking around in a warehouse for 5 days. So. And you really do taste the difference.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Another company we'd like to mention today is Global M. Global M is a content delivery platform, distributed content delivery platform for optimizing all video contents when it comes to kind of difficult situation, low bandwidth, mobility. So that's why their application, the sweet spot in application, are situations where redundancy and consistency and stability are the technical issues to address when you deliver video content. And with that in mind, they have followed some kind of already pretty complicated events, such as cycling races all around Switzerland, but not only. And they have been selected to be part of the very few startups able to prepare the next demo day for a Comcast NBC Universal event, which address sports tech. So NBC Universal Comcast is, as you all know, a North American company, a North American giant in the media industry, and they selected this Geneva-based technology for delivering their video and their streams during this event. I mean, what else you need to show and to prove that the Swiss technology starts really to be recognized and appreciated globally? I mean, this is an excellent example. So you see in the picture, this Gabby Douglas has been U.S. Gold champion at the Olympics in gymnastics, and she will be presenting, I think, this event. And you will have it streamed using Global M technology around the world. So well done, great job. And last, I think we can close with Mika Jacki, at least the news about our startups. Mika Jacki is a medtech project that we are supporting, and they are bit by bit really ticking all the roadmap in terms of product, in terms of client validation, and in terms also of certification, that, as you know, is an extremely important element when it comes to medtech projects. So they just announced that their system meets now the most important regulatory requirements. It's an ISO requirement, very important to obtain in order then to sell the product on the market. And this certification follows what the company has already achieved almost, in September 2020, if I remember correctly. There was the CE mark, the first CE mark. That shows two things: that it takes time for a medtech project to get to the market, and in particular, the regulatory part is very hard. That's why, as entrepreneurs, you should address it well in advance. And the second thing is that mostly for Mika Jacki, they're getting there, and so they start to be already in place in some of the most important optical centers in France, and they are starting really to sell the product as well.
Yeah, we just got a message from their CEO actually telling us that they've just opened their second site with their technology. So that's really great progress from them.
Yeah, I think it's a very it's like when you have a plan, you execute it. And what I like and what we like of this company, that they say what they do and they do what they say by achieving all these milestones one by one. That's why I think they are starting to prepare for a fundraising soon, and I have no doubt that this company will have a lot of traction among our investor community. So well done, Mika Jacki. It's a medtech project, so we're entering in the life science world, and I think that is the best transition that I can make for handing it over to Ingeborg and telling us a bit more about Campus Biotech Innovation Park in Sécheron district, the other side of the town, soon connected to us with a tram, and Geneus in particular. It's to you, Ingeborg.
Thank you, Antonio. And yes, indeed, it's true. It's quite difficult to get a medtech project to market. And I will tell you later about an event that will take place tomorrow morning, and that will also discuss regulatory matters in Europe. So something to keep an eye out for. So, but we'll kick off this part of the Café&Croissant with some fresh news from the startups and companies at Campus Biotech Innovation Park. And we'll start with congratulating iOnctura, because they won the 2020 ASAP Alliance Excellence Award in the Individual Alliance Excellence category for their alliance with Cancer Research UK. So in 2017, Merck and Cancer Research UK combined a substantial financial investment and several compounds in order to create a new biotech company called iOnctura that would specialize in finding cures for hard-to-treat tumors. iOnctura has brought two assets to clinical stages that take a different track on fighting these nearly untreatable cancers. Rather than treating the tumor itself, these compounds target the nexus of the tumor, stroma, and the immune system. If you're interested to read more about the award or iOnctura, there are the links in the comments. Staying at Campus Biotech Innovation Park, The surge of cyber attacks on healthcare is one of the untold stories of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's hard to overstate the harm these attacks can cause to people. Marietje Schaake, who is president of the Cyber Peace Institute, talks about this issue on their Twitter account, and you can read also their report via the link sent in the comments. Each month, we introduce one of the Campus Biotech Innovation Park-based startups by showing you a video about them. And today is Maxivax. Maxivax is a clinical stage biotechnology company advancing patient-specific immunomodularity strategies for the treatment of cancers. The company was founded in 2005 by Professor Bernard Mach, who some of you may know. He's ex-University of Geneva and also the co-founder of Biogen and the founder of Novimmune. Professor Nicolas Mach, he is oncology associate in Geneva, and Maître Clarence Peter from the law firm Carrard. They have their headquarters at the Campus Biotech Innovation Park. And Maxivax is dedicated to efficiently progressing potential best-in-class anti-cancer immunotherapies to address significant unmet medical needs and improve outcomes for people with difficult-to-treat cancer. So I let you enjoy the video.
Despite spectacular developments in cancer treatment, most patients with advanced disease still die from tumor burden within 5 years. Maxivax is a biotechnology company that aims to use the patient's own immune system to fight cancer. In doing so, Maxivax considers the patient's complete tumor cell as the immunogen, and this forms the basis of their novel immunotherapies. So what does the procedure look like? First, a biopsy is taken from the patient's tumor and processed into a single-cell suspension. Then the suspension is irradiated and prepared for inoculation. For the therapy to become a success, the immune system needs an extra boost with the production of a very potent adjuvant called GM-CSF at the immunization site. Maxivax's unique proprietary technology enables controlled delivery of GM-CSF using a specifically designed capsule, resulting in prolonged activation of the immune system. This capsule contains cells that were genetically modified to produce GM-CSF. Whereas GM-CSF can diffuse through the capsule membrane, the GM-CSF secreting cells remain inside, protected from the host immune system. In the next step of the procedure, 2 capsules are implanted subcutaneously. Then the patient's own irradiated tumor cells are injected in between the 2 capsules. The secreted GM-CSF recruits immune cells and initiates a highly specific immune response against the tumor cells. The dendritic cells phagocytose the tumor cells to process and present tumor antigens on their cell surface. The activated dendritic cells then migrate to the draining lymph nodes, where they present the tumor antigens to helper T cells and cytotoxic T cells. These tumor antigen-specific T cells now become activated. They multiply and then migrate to the site of the tumor. There, they elicit a vigorous immune response to eliminate the residing tumor cells from the body.
So there you see that medtech startups is the underlying technology for medtech and biotech can be quite significant. Okay, so moving on to the Swiss biotech ecosystems. Just wait for the slide.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the Swiss biotech ecosystem's response to the COVID-19 pandemic was swift and encompassing. From the cloning of the virus to the repurposing of established drugs and the development of COVID-19 specific diagnostics, therapeutics and the manufacturing of the vaccine candidates, Switzerland is playing an important role in the global effort to combat the pandemic. Biotechnology companies based in Switzerland have experienced record investments in the pandemic year 2020. The Western Switzerland region, home to the Health Valley, ranks second nationally in the financing of private biotech companies. According to the 2021 edition of the Swiss Biotech Report, and you can find the link in the comment, the Swiss biotech sector has once again gained importance in 2020, a trend that the ongoing coronavirus crisis will further intensify in the coming years. And in 2020, the life sciences sector achieved a record export value of over 99 billion francs, representing alone a 44% share of the total Swiss exports that year. Discover examples in the Swiss Biotech Report in the link in the comment. Now, are you developing a promising technology in the field of applied neuroscience or neurotechnology? And do you intend to bring it to the market? This joint EPFL V-Center call for projects could be for you. The EPFL and V-Center have joined forces to invest in the neurotechnologies of tomorrow and accelerate the journey from bench to market. The partnership will provide funds to selected projects for up to 100,000 francs per project, as well as access to the combined network and resources at both institutions. The total amount allocated is 300,000 francs, and it offers the opportunity to entrepreneurs to accelerate the development of their venture by funding product design, prototype development, and or minimum viable product design, and the development of their future product or products. The deadline for submissions is June 30th. Now, let's move on to the Geneus events. The next Campus Biotech Innovation Park workshop will be held on May 27th from 9 to 10 a.m. in the morning, with guest speaker Claudio Melas, who is the co-founder of ADAM. ADAM is a CERN spin-off and an example on how fundamental physics research can lead to practical solutions to, for example, fight cancer. So ADAM capitalizes on the know-how and infrastructure that CERN provides to build innovative accelerators for proton therapy and for conventional radiotherapy, with the aim to democratize proton therapy as cancer treatment. During the workshop, Claudio will discuss the few common mistakes startups face while they are operating that might lead to complicated times and eventually to failures as a learning lesson, by supporting this topic with his personal experience in a startup and providing real case examples. And you can sign up via the link sent in the comments. BioAlps, in collaboration with Switzerland Global Enterprise, organizes the event Connecting Life Sciences Innovators online, and it will take place tomorrow, 21st of May, from 9 till 11 a.m. And that's actually the event that I referred to at the beginning. So if you're developing a medtech project, I strongly recommend that you sign up for this event. It will have four key presentations from the organizing partners on medtech and digital health opportunities in Germany, Canada, and Indonesia. It's also about intellectual property development, about new European regulations for medtech, and global market access strategies. The event is free of charge, but registration is mandatory. And this is our last reminder for the highly recommended Tech for Growth Health Workshop Series, organized by EPFL Innovation Park and powered by InnoSuisse. The workshop series start now very soon on the 31st of May. They will run for 3 weeks on Monday and Thursday, lunch to afternoon. During this series of 6 hybrid workshops, CEOs and CTOs of startups and corporate innovation managers will have the possibility to work side by side to help each other and to achieve better understanding, but also to build powerful business and personal network. Speakers are from Novartis, Groupe Mutuel, Merck, Debut Farm, Sophia Genetics, Lunaphore, and Ferring. For the full list of speakers and the program, as well as to sign up, you can find the link in the comments. And for your information, the 5 days of online workshops are free of charge. Only the concluding networking day on July 2nd will cost 300 francs if you're a startup or academic and 600 for corporates. And as a BioAlps affiliated member, you are entitled to a 20% discount.
Great.
And I'll end with one more internationalization event. If you are considering China as a potential market, Venture Leaders Biotech will bring 10 Swiss life sciences startups to China for a week of intensive, intensive business development, networking, and investor pitching. It's an exclusive opportunity to get to know investors and international industry experts as a member of the Swiss National Startup Team. Until June 6th, startups can apply for one of the 10 slots. And the program for September 6th to 10th is worth about 10,000 francs, is co-organized by Venture Lab and Swiss Next in China and supported by the EPFL, NHTA Zurich, Fisher and Canton Zurich, who facilitate the participation free of charge for the startups. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Ingeborg. I mean, a lot of events, a lot of stuff happening. It's surprising to to see how the every time how the life science sector is really growing in this area in Geneva in particular. So that's great, and thank you for all the job you do for that. I think we also have some very interesting events happening in other sector than life science, and I guess maybe James, you would like to tell us more.
Yes, thank you, Antonio. So what is surprising us is actually the quality of the events that are proving in all sectors of startups, and a lot of this is because you're getting successful entrepreneurs and innovators coming back and sharing their insights. So it's really deep context driven content that's happening there, and that's really what propels our innovation nation forward. So we're very lucky for our next lunchtime workshop, the Fongite Force, where we're having business angels from two of the leading Swiss business angel groups, the BAS and SICTIC, so that's the Swiss ICT Investor Club, and BAS is the Business Angels Switzerland. And our two speakers will share how entrepreneurs and angels can collaborate harmoniously to build successful startups. So you'll see on this slide that there's a lot of talk about the business angels and how to pitch to them. But the bigger question is how to work well with them, when to approach them, when not to approach them. We've had experiences, very positive experiences with qualified angels, but then you can also have what we call demon investors, where they might not have the experience of angel investors. They may not be part of an angel investor group. And that can actually cause a lot of friction once you've received the money. So how to identify a good angel investor, how to work with them for a successful due diligence, and when they're on the board of directors, and most importantly, for the next round, because invariably that's how the angels make their biggest wins, and that's also when their support is most helpful, also finding additional investors. So we've asked both speakers to spend very little time talking about their organizations and their processes, and more time about what they wish startups knew about angel investors, and really how to get the best out of working with business angels. So we're lucky we have Adrienne Perramont, who is a board member of BAS. She was also their president for a number of years, and she's a successful business leader and entrepreneur. And Bolko, who's the vice president of SICTIC and head of the Romandie sector for SICTIC, and he's also an InnoSuisse and a Fongite coach. So this should be fascinating. And of course, you can ask any questions that you've always wanted to know about business angels during that workshop. So really looking forward to that. You can sign up on events at fongite.ch. Now, another key cornerstone of the Swiss startup scene is InnoSuisse. and their business creation workshops are phenomenal. They are 5-day workshops led by experienced entrepreneurs exactly in your sector. And if you're about to launch your venture or you recently launched it, we can warmly recommend signing up. There are still places on there, biotech, medtech, and advanced engineering workshops that start in June. We have amazing feedback. I think all of our successful entrepreneurs have participated in those workshops. If your company is 2 or 3 years later, then we can warmly recommend their business growth workshops. Those are later in the year. But since these happen quite rarely, now's the time to sign up for that. And it complements perfectly Fangit's program and also the InnoSuisse coaching, because you spend a lot of time also with other entrepreneurs that are having similar challenges to your own. And also the networking with the speakers is quite impressive. So seize the opportunity. And now this is an event that's actually supported by InnoSuisse, and it's the Negotiation Booster Workshop for female founders. It's an interactive workshop, and it's taking place from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So it's a good time to practice new skills, and they'll be addressing key negotiation topics such as impression management and contract structures. And it's designed to assist women leaders, aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators in upgrading their innovation skills for their career and their business leadership development. I've been lucky enough to attend a workshop with one of the speakers, and it's true that her negotiation booster approach is really interesting. So, you know, they always say you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate, and this is very helpful with the angle of how to achieve this as a woman leader. And it's a cornerstone of the Swiss startup scene. It's the Swiss Startup Days. This has actually got approval from the Swiss government to go ahead as a test event for people in a physical space post-COVID. There are 800 participants signed up. You will find all of the investors that are active in Switzerland coming there for meetings. You're going to see all of the large corporates that are looking for partners and the whole startup support scene. So I go there every year. This will be the 14th time I go, and briefly I can reconnect with my key contacts on that day in a way that otherwise it would take me a month of one-to-one meetings. So it's a phenomenal way to connect. It's 300 francs if you're a startup. I can really warmly recommend attending there physically, because the people that really believe in negotiation, believe in networking, will physically be there. And you'll be one of the few that are actually able to approach and talk with the key movers in the startup scene. So don't miss that one. If you're not there as a startup, you're not in people's share of mind, and that's going to be crucial for fundraising and also getting grants later on. And we promised you this from the beginning. We've got a special message to the Swiss startups from the president of the Swiss Confederation, Guy Parmelin. So I don't think he needs any further introduction. Let's hear what he has to say.
Chers amis de l'innovation, nous avons dans le rétroviseur une année 2020 à marquer d'une pierre noire, et rien n'indique que 2021 marquera un retour à la normale. Les startups représentent le futur. Pour cette raison, j'éprouve un plaisir tout particulier à pouvoir m'adresser à vous. Je remercie vivement Swiss Entrepreneur Foundation et l'association Swisspreneur de m'en offrir à nouveau l'occasion. Je tiens tout d'abord à vous féliciter pour votre créativité. Vous êtes animés par la passion. Il en faut quand on connaît les risques auxquels vous vous exposez. Avec la pandémie, vous avez dû y ajouter la persévérance et la confiance. En tant que ministre de la Science, de la Formation et de la Recherche, il m'importe évidemment que les startups puissent bénéficier de conditions cadres avantageuses, ceci pour 3 raisons. Tout d'abord, parce qu'il n'est pas aisé de chercher et surtout de trouver des investisseurs qui soient prêts à prendre des risques. Ensuite, parce qu'il n'est pas facile de recruter, de former, d'encourager et de garder le capital humain qu'il faut pour réussir cette aventure. Enfin, parce qu'il faut consentir de gros efforts pour transformer en entrepreneurs des hommes et des femmes qui n'ont au départ que leur énergie créative, leur goût du risque et des poches vides. Pour toutes ces raisons, je salue les buts et l'engagement de Swiss Entrepreneur Foundation, mais aussi Swisspreneur. Pouvoir vous soutenir dans ces efforts constitue pour moi une préoccupation absolument centrale. Mes échanges avec vous me permettent de prendre le pouls de cet écosystème essentiel pour la place économique et scientifique suisse. Je peux ainsi voir où se nichent les éventuels problèmes et contribuer aux solutions. C'est là d'ailleurs un sujet d'actualité puisque le Conseil fédéral vient d'accepter la modification de la loi fédérale sur l'encouragement de la recherche et de l'innovation. Cela permettra l'encouragement directement des startups et spin-off par InnoSuisse. Les startups font avancer la recherche. Leurs partenariats avec les universités, les hautes écoles et les entreprises sont un stimulant bienvenu. Sans elles, c'est tout le moteur économique suisse qui se mettrait à tousser. La Suisse, comme vous le savez, ne dispose d'aucune politique publique en matière d'innovation. Pourtant, elle se classe régulièrement parmi les pays les plus innovants. La pandémie a mis le monde sans dessus-dessous. Des interventions ciblées mais temporaires sont parfois nécessaires. La Confédération est consciente que les crédits bancaires ne constituent pas la source première de financement ni la plus appropriée pour les startups. Elle est néanmoins parvenue, main dans la main, avec les banques et les coopératives spécialisées, à ficeler un paquet de cautionnement d'un montant de 100 millions de francs pour nos startups. 65% de ce montant a été cautionné par la Confédération, le solde par les cantons. De mai à août 2020, plus de 600 demandes ont été déposées. Un peu plus de la moitié a été acceptée après examen. L'enveloppe de cautionnement a ainsi été presque entièrement utilisée. Le montant moyen du cautionnement garanti était ainsi de l'ordre de 275 000 francs par start-up. C'est plus du double de la moyenne des crédits relais Covid-19 octroyés aux PME. Les investisseurs témoignent eux aussi d'une grande confiance à l'endroit des startups suisses puisqu'ils y ont engagé plus de 2 milliards de francs en 2020. C'est 5 fois plus qu'en 2012. Et cela malgré un contexte économique peu réjouissant. Je me réjouis évidemment de ce constat qui me conforte dans les efforts que déploie mon département pour développer ce secteur très dynamique de notre économie. Je vous remercie une fois encore de votre engagement sur ce terrain et vous souhaite tout le succès possible pour l'avenir. Merci de votre attention.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Very interesting.
So, if you want to know more about what's happening in the Swiss startup scene and get the news as it comes, please sign up to our socials. And if you're particularly interested in the life sciences field, the Geneus addresses are the place to go. If you sign up to events.frangide, we can also get you onto our newsletter so that you can get the latest synopses of what's happening and the way we interpret them. So with that, we'd like to firstly thank the Frangide team. So we're at the front here, but Next to us, there's a whole team collecting this news, filtering it, and making sure our startups get the most of it. So that's the Marcom team. It's also the coaching team. It's the team at Geneus, and also the admin team that are so crucial in enabling our entrepreneurs to focus on creating value for the customers and for society. So with that, we'd like to thank you very much for your attention, and next time do let us know if you have any of your startup news that you'd like us to share. Just ping it over to events@fongi.ch.
Yeah. Thank you, James, for this. Yeah, before letting this thing go, just allow me. I think we have still 2 minutes. One comment about the message of Parmelin, which is a message from a president. So I mean, it has the level of granularity that deserves in terms of what is important. But you can intercept some very important signals there. The first of all, that he points at the beginning of his message, 2 elements which are needs to be still improved. One is access to capital for startups, and the second one is access to talents. Okay, so these 2 elements are extremely important. If you remember, last month we were discussing about the European initiatives for making the startup a better startup scene in Europe. Those 2 elements were in fact one of the 2 elements that were highlighted. There are others that must be addressed. For example, the fiscal treatment of shares of founders and employees. But I think these 3 elements are now becoming, and in particular the first 2, on the radar screen, on the agenda of Bern, of political level. I think this is a very important message that already sets the tone for the future activities of our parliament in Bern, and our politicians, our government. That's a very good news. The second element is the InnoSwiss. You were mentioning InnoSwiss as the cornerstone, as one of the cornerstone of Swiss innovation. And the intention of Switzerland, which, as Mr. Parmelin has said, has not a political economy specifically focused on innovation. However, it is deployed through different actors, including Fongi, for example, is one of them. And InnoSwiss is definitely a cornerstone actor. And the type of innovation that they are targeting at the Swiss level is this innovation coming from universities. So this bridge between universities, the labs university, and getting some entrepreneurs coming out, and InnoSwiss really acting as a facilitator for that. So this is also important. I think, and the COVID loan, the third point, the COVID loan. So the emergency that we managed to handle last year. Fongit was, as you know, first line, because we were the cantonal body providing the additional portion for the COVID guarantee for our startups. I think the reactivity of this COVID loan that the government put in place at the federal level is a proof that startup industry, innovation industry, is a real industry for Switzerland that we all, and also our governors, they're going to preserve. So I think these 3 messages are very important. We don't have time, unfortunately, to expand on those messages. Maybe next time, I think it might be interesting to get more time also to discuss about these topics and others. For now, we cannot even answer to any of your questions, so sorry for that. But I think we arrived to an end. So I really thank you all for having participated to our Café&Croissant. Thank you, Ingeborg. Thank you, James. Thank you, the team. Always very important, as James mentioned just before. Stefan was really managing all the stuff behind the lines. And yeah, so I'll see you, and we'll see you with great pleasure next month. And knocking on wood, maybe physically in a kind of a hybrid environment, hopefully so. Until then, I really wish you, and we wish you a good month and a good beginning of summer, gently. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Always I remember your bad dress and how you turned my mind completely into such a mess. So